Hello, welcome back to the channel Up the Reds TV with me, Andy. So before we crack on, I just want to mention that the last video, it had over 290 views. So thank you very much if that was you watching that, and please subscribe if you haven't already done so. Okay, yeah, so I looked on the viewing figures today, so yeah, I was really pleased with that, so thank you for that. And please like and please share as well, that'd be great. So obviously this one is the post-match, Inter 0, Liverpool 1. Let's talk about Arne Slot's team selection first, shall we? I thought the team was solid. It was a 4-4-2 with a diamond. Some say it's a 4-2-2-2. I'm not so sure it was like that. It seemed more like a 4-4-2. Obviously, Ali, Gomez, Konate, Van Dijk, Robbo, Gravenberch and Maka, Dom Sloboslai, Jones, Isak and Ekitike. I like the lineup. And I can understand why Wirtz didn't start in this one. So let's look at the first half, shall we? We started the game really well. We were good. In out of possession, we looked solid, which was a good thing to see. I wasn't... When the game kicked off, you know, first 5-6 minutes, I could see, you know, there was a bit of impetus within the squad to make sure that this was a game that they weren't going to throw away or give up easily. But that was me thinking with my coach's head on, but with my supporters' head on. I was still a bit nervous. One mistake, you know, because that's what's been happening recently. We're going to lose concentration. We're going to concede first. All these things as a supporter were rattling round in my head, but my coach's head on saying, I'm liking the shape and I'm liking this, how the team are performing. 7 minutes, we get a free kick. Dom's first free kick doesn't beat the first player, so it was wasted. Couple of minutes later after that, Joey has a cross straight at the keeper, and then what's he called, Calhan Noglu went off with a hamstring, one of their influential midfield players. On comes Zielinski, and he was a busybody when he came on. 11 minutes, shocking tackle by Martinez on Robbo. I'm surprised Robbo wasn't seriously hurt. He looked like he went over like a jockey does at one of the Grand National fences, didn't he? And I thought Martinez was just lucky to get the yellow card for that. He knew exactly what he was doing. People saying, "Oh, he went in with his shins." He didn't show his studs. To get a broken leg, you don't have to show your studs. You know, let's be real about this. But lucky for Robbo, he ran it off. 17, Jones, he had a good dribble into the box, didn't he? And had a good shot saved by Sommer. 18, Ryan had a long shot, and that was also saved. So Reds are playing well. You know, they're on the front foot. They're looking after the ball. Had a couple of corners cleared. Then 29 minutes, Acerbi, he goes off with a muscle injury, and Bissek comes on and plays centre half. So yeah, that was two of their influential players off in the first half. And so 31 minutes. Look, talking point of the half for me. Reds get a corner, taken by Dom. Virgil heads it. It hits Ekitike's arm and directs itself over to where Konate is. Konate heads the ball in. Nothing wrong with the goal, with the way the UEFA rules according to the UEFA rules. However, VAR decides, which it took them 5 minutes to come to this decision, that it was not a goal. So I'm not so sure what explanation they could give if their directive is a low handball offence, and that was a low handball offence. Ekitike is jumping up, Van Dijk is heading the ball, and I'm thinking to myself, would they have given a penalty to Liverpool if it had hit that arm or not of a Inter player? I'm not 100% sure. The officials in this game, they were poor. He was poor. I thought for both teams, if I'm honest with you, I'm fair with the officials. So yeah, because it took 5 minutes, it took the wind out of Liverpool's sails, because we were just about turning the screw, and the delay, it just seems to, the Reds just lost the way, and you could see for the next 21 minutes, and that includes the added 7 minutes of injury time, wherever that came from, that Inter were getting on top. They had a few corners in that period, and they were taking shots at Ali's goal. We just struggled to get out a bit with that long delay. And then deep into injury time, Martinez, the only time he gets the better of Van Dijk, he beats him to a header, and it was brilliantly saved by Alisson. So 0-0 at half time, when really it should have been 1-0 to the Reds. Second half, we started well again. No changes were made at half time by Arne Slot, so Isak should have had a shot, but he opted to pass instead, which was a wasted opportunity on 49. Liverpool are still playing well. They're holding the ball, they're winning the tackles. There were some naughty tackles going in by Inter, but Liverpool were giving as good as they got. The midfield did really look solid with them. Ryan, Maka, Dom and Curtis Jones. So 62 minutes, Ekitike has a shot saved. On 67, Arne Slot rolls the dice. He takes off Isak and Gomez and brings on Wirtz and Bradley. This is a like-for-like substitution that I wanted to see at Leeds. It didn't happen at Leeds, and it cost us, because when Wirtz came on, I'll speak to it when I do my thoughts on the players. When he came on, he upped the tempo and he gave us another direction of play. So Bradley finds Ekitike. Ekitike's shot's blocked. That's on 68. 78, Bradley's found by Ekitike. He's through on the left-hand side of Milan's goal. He opts to side-foot it. Excuse me. He opts to side-foot it rather than put his laces through the ball and get the power on it. And it was an easy save for Summer, wasn't it? Yeah, it was just a bad decision there. So we're still attacking. We're winning second balls, which we've not done for a long time. We're tracking back the runners, and then 84th minute, penalty shout. Now, I knew Wirtz had gone down. It wasn't for a kick, I know that. So it had to be for a shirt pull. So he went down. Is it soft? Yes. They say that, well, that wouldn't be given in England, in the Premier League, Why shouldn't it be? If it's a shirt pull on the outside of the box, you get given a yellow card and a free kick. Yeah, if it happens in the box, you don't get a free kick. You don't get a penalty. You don't get a penalty. You don't get a yellow card. So the ball's obviously kicked out by Milan, and there's a review going on, and he's gone to the VAR, has sent him to the monitor, and again there's a bit of a delay, and the ref decides to give the Reds the penalty, and it is dispatched magnificently by Dom Slobosly. So the Reds hold out. Milan weren't really going to be threatening Liverpool at all. In fact, we were the more likely to get the second because of we kept our shape, and we did like for like substitutions, which really kept the team solid. So they see out the game. It's a typical Liverpool. People said it was a smash and grab. It wasn't a smash and grab. Liverpool had control in this game. The only time they didn't have control was after the handball goal was chalked off after 5 minutes, and it just knocked Liverpool off the pace. So, old-fashioned type of 1-0 in Europe. Look, Milan hadn't lost there for 3 years in the Champions League, so for Liverpool to go there and get a 1-0 victory, that was brilliant. So I'm overall pleased with the game. I want to praise Arne Slot. Only had 13 players with Premier League and Champions League experience, according to him, but also getting the tactics right and also the substitutions right. I did mention earlier on about he got the tactics wrong at Leeds when we got pasted trying to see out the game. This time he went like for like, and it does make a difference. And yeah, so I'll talk about what he said in his post match, but I just want to go through the players. Ali, comfortable out for catches, made that really good save in the first half against Martinez, and he took his corners well, and the shots that were taken, he gathered them, which was so he had a really good game. Joey Gomez lasted another hour again, so you could see he was tiring, but he's put some miles in his legs, hasn't he, in this last week? So, which is really good for Liverpool, and hopefully it was just tiredness that he came off for. It did look it to me. So, Konate had a good game, so he can play well when he wants to, and if he does all the right things properly. Unlucky to have the goal chalked off. Would have probably done his confidence a world of good. But overall, he had a good game. Virgil van Dijk, another one, had a very good game. I don't think he lost a header at all. I could hear him barking the orders. He looked more composed. And I know what you're going to say. It's because he had Robbo playing next to him. So just talking about Robbo, very good game. Thought he did really, really well. I don't think he could do the Brighton game. I don't think he can do 2 games in a week. So, but he did really well. Used his old Champions League head. Needed to go forward, needed to sit, keep the ball moving really, really well. Ryan Gravenberch played really well again. If I've got one thing about him is when he receives the ball on the left-hand side, he tends to always want the ball to go back to the left-hand side instead of opening his body up and trying to move it to our right-hand side. So, yeah, and Maka had an all right game. He did what he needed to do. He got his body in the way, got some free kicks for us, and yeah, typical Argentinian, sort of like, how can I put it, you know, going down when he's not been hurt or anything like that, and you know, conning the referee a couple of times, but it was good to see. Dom Slobosly, another excellent game for the Reds, absolutely superb, non-stop running, deserved to take the pen, and he dispatched it brilliantly, you know, to win us the game. He's, I've said on here, Dom Slobosly is the future captain of Liverpool. He's the future captain. He talks good about the game. He talks about the players. He talks about Liverpool Football Club, you know, the love of it and everything. So, yeah, he's definitely a future captain, as I've said a while back. Curtis Jones, the only Scouser in the team, he had a really, really good game for me. He got stuck in. He didn't lose any of his duels. His passing was nearly 100%, I think. But, yeah, you know, he had one chance and it was on target. But he kept the ball moving. He really, really did do well. Hugo Ekitike, he ran his socks off. He did the ugly bit today, which was tracking back, nice to see. And, you know, he had a couple of chances, didn't he? But you can see his work ethic. It was really, really good. So, to Alexander Isak, most people thought that he had yet another poor game for Liverpool, but I had my coach's head on. He didn't. I watched him against Sunderland where he wasn't working hard enough for me. He was just, as I said, he was just doing the doggies. And that's all he was doing. But this time, when he was doing the doggies, he was getting out quick. He was anticipating where the ball was going to go, and he was on his haunches. Off he went. And it made a difference. It made them think, look, he should have had a couple of fouls in the first half. He got taken out, and the ref said play on both occasions. They were both fouls. He did really well, and he's got more minutes under his belt. So I was quite happy with his performance. Yes, he didn't get a goal, he didn't get an assist, but we saw glimpses of him, what he can do. He did run the channels a few times. He did ask for it a few times, and it wasn't given to him. The midfielders have got to trust the process, and they've got to get the ball to him, because it will excite us what he does. Yes, he did lose the ball a couple of times, but overall, I thought he had a good game. Look at the subs, Florian Wirtz. Like I said twice before on here, when you do a like-for-like substitution like Arne Slot did, with Isak coming on, Wirtz coming, you bring in a player on, a forward-thinking player, and boy, when he came on, didn't he brighten us up with his first-time passing and tackling and keeping the ball moving. He got some free kicks as well. It makes a hell of a difference with these like-for-like substitutions. It's it helps the team, because the team don't have to concentrate on the defensive side of it. They can concentrate on the offensive side of it. Conor Bradley comes on, does really well again. Glad he didn't get booked, but yeah, he was very positive. He looked fit and sharp. He went down, didn't he, in the closing minutes of the game, but I think that was just a bit of mischievousness from his side, going down for a foul when he wins the ball. and yeah. So on to Arne Slot's post matches interviews, and it was really good. They want to talk about what's been happening at the club, and he wasn't interested in that. He said we should talk about the players that have turned up here tonight and the performance that they've give, and what performances go down in Liverpool's history. It was a good performance, and I was pleased. He batted the way the Salah questions, and I think it was Seedorf who said to him, you know, are you going to get together? Are you going to go to him first, or you're going to wait for him to come? He didn't say yes or no. And Seedorf said, I think you should go. And then when he was doing the interview indoors, they tried to pick up on that, and he shot the journo down straight away. He said, no, he said that, not me. I haven't said anything. So don't be putting that in the press tomorrow. This is what I've said. We should concentrate on the players that have come out here to Italy and play here and play really well and get a result. Perfect, good answers. And then going on to Virgil, he was sort of like being asked the questions both outside and inside, and he was perfect in his replies. You know, this is about the team. There is an issue between Salah and the club. Has he spoke to Salah? Yes, he has, but I'm not going to speak to you about it because it's a private matter. There you go. So he said what he needed to say. It's now, he said that we focus on the Brighton game. We're staying over tonight in Italy, and then we'll fly back tomorrow, which is today. So the Reds will be back in their own beds tonight, and they'll be back on the training pitch tomorrow. And obviously, the press conference is at 9 o'clock for the pre-match with Arne Slot, and I just hope it is not all about what an embarrassing last 4 days, 5 days it's been for the Reds. I want the conversations to stop by the journos, by the fans. Who's right and who's wrong? We all have our opinions. I've said my opinion and I'm sticking to it. But my mind has changed about Arne Slot because of the way he's handled this situation, and it could have easily backfired on him. So we go 4 games unbeaten. Do you remember when we were going, we've lost again, we've lost again, we've lost again, we've lost again, we've lost again. Now, although the performances weren't good, apart from last night's, possibly the West Ham one in bits, we're unbeaten now in 4. The players are playing for Liverpool Football Club. They're playing for the shirt. They're playing for the head coach. And that's what we can ask for. Brighton's going to be another tough test. Every single game that Liverpool play this season is going to be a tough test, and we need to get behind them, as did the away fans who were chanting Arne Slot's song when he walked away from the interview done with BT on the outside. Okay, thanks for watching this video. As I said, I'm going to do a Brighton warm-up. It'll be out at 8 on Friday. And again, please like this video. Please share it. Give me your thoughts. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. Let's get this channel built up, because if I'm getting the views on the videos more than what I ever expected, you must like these videos. So carry on supporting the channel by subscribing to it. Okay, enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll speak to you guys on Friday. Up the Reds.